Let me walk you through a really cool feature that is exclusive to Jira Work Management. In fact, this particular feature is one of the few reasons why I would even recommend that you experiment or utilize Jira Work Management, because this functionality, as much as I would like for it to be in Jira Software, doesn't exist in Jira Software. It does, however, exist in Jira Service Management, but that's a much different tool that is much more expensive and has a much different use case. But this particular use case is to show you how to use forms within Jira Work Management. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. Drop a like if you get value out of this video. And don't forget to check out the links down below, as I have links to my merch store, my paid courses, and links to the sponsors that help make these videos possible. So go show them some love, click on their links, start a free 30-day trial, and leave them a review. Let's jump into today's video.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move.
This video is sponsored by AppFox. All right, so you're gonna wanna be inside of a Jira Work Management project today, and what we're gonna be exploring is this button right here that says form. So we're gonna go ahead and click on that, and we're going to create a form. Now, what is a form and what makes these forms unique? Well, so as you know, when you hit the create button of any project, whether it be a Jira Work Management, Jira Software, or Jira Service Management project, or even Jira Product Discovery, you're gonna be able to populate fields. And these fields are gonna be available to you, and you're gonna be able to set them all up and essentially fill out this information. But these are all tied to a field, and these fields become queryable, but there's a lot of restrictions into how these fields work, and they're very what I'll call primitive, right? If Atlassian allows it, you're allowed to do it, and there's not a whole lot that Atlassian allows you to do. And so there's a very specific set of rules governing how fields work and the type of information you can input in these fields. But in a Jira Work Management project, you actually get a different way of inputting information into your issues, and that is going to be through this type of form. Now, these forms are going to be a little bit more dynamic, and I'm going to show you some of the cool things you can do in a second. It's basically field input on steroids. It's a much more intuitive, much more powerful way of doing it. And unfortunately, it's only possible in Jira Work Management, not possible in Jira Software unless you use like a third-party plugin. But the forms are going to be really powerful, available in Jira Work Management. A different variant does exist for Jira Service Management. So let's take a look at this inside of Jira Work Management. So I'm just going to click on the plus button over here to create a new form, and that's going to take us to this editor that allows us to create these forms. So as you can see, this starts to look and feel a whole lot like the Jira Service Management portal that we can create. But as you can see here, you're able to edit like the summary. So if you don't want it to say summary, because everybody hates the fact that it says summary, and you want to put title, right? You can put that there. If you wanted to put name, you can do that. And then you can leave this text box here so that you can say, hey, an answer is going to be written, or if it's like a drop down or something like that, you'll see what that looks like in a second. Now we can also hide these things so that the field doesn't show. Obviously there's a required field in the summary and in the title, so you can't hide that one. So let's just hide like the description, and that'll move it over here to the right. And so you can simply just drag it back on over here, and you can just drag and drop these fields over here and just make them available inside of your form, right? So I can drag all the fields that I want over here, and that's pretty much it. Now, if I wanted to add another field, as you can see, I ran out of fields. Well, we would go to project settings, and we would go to the issue types over here, and over in this screen, we would then create a new one. So let's just say we want to do a drop down, and we want to call this one like favorite, I don't know, chocolate. We're almost in Halloween mode here. So let's just do favorite chocolate. And we're going to add option 1 to be a Kit Kat, because I love Kit Kats and I can't spell very well either. Let's do Hershey's. And then let's just do Snickers. And that's it. We're going to hit save changes here. And so now I have a field with these specific values. And when we go back to our form, and we go into our form that we're just editing right now. So as you can see, after you hit refresh, your favorite chocolate is available. And so now you can drag and drop it in here. So really, basically, the only real great benefit of doing the form is that you can move these fields around a lot easier than if you were to do them in the other view in the project settings. And you can also rename them here so that they can be slightly different than they are like presented to the user when they hit the create button. Hey, I hope you're enjoying today's video. I wanted to take a quick second to tell you about today's sponsor. As a Jira admin, how do you keep your Jira instance well maintained, optimized, and free of inactive or unused projects and configurations? Well, you could do this manually by yourself, or you could use the complete admin tool Optimizer for Jira to audit and configure, clean up, and optimize Jira in a matter of minutes. It's the secret superpower helping thousands of Jira admins worldwide keep their Jira instances in tip-top shape. Check it out using the link in the description down below. And now back to the video. So as you can see, that's it. That's the form. There's not a whole lot. Now you just gotta share this form to other people. You can share it in Slack. You can share them to a specific individual. And now these individuals are gonna be able to fill out this form and be able to see it, right? So I can hit the preview button here and they'll be able to fill out the form, right? There's just a URL that they go to. Honestly, I think this is the only real benefit of doing this over the create button, which is like, this form looks attractive, right? It's an easier, more intuitive thing. It's cleaner than that create button. Because when you hit the create button, as you can compare that with this, like this feels more techy, right? It feels more, you need to kind of know and be more familiar with how Jira works to put in all this extra data. But right here, it's very simple. It's like filling out a Google Forms, filling out some survey, things that people on the internet are so used to doing, right? And so it feels way more natural, way more intuitive, super easy to do, right? They're just gonna pick whatever they want here. And it's just super, super easy to use as opposed to like the create button, a little bit more, I wouldn't say daunting, but it feels more Jira-ish. While this feels more natural. This feels more like, hey, I'm just filling out a form, right? And so I think that's really the only benefit. There's not a whole lot you can do in this particular form. JSM forms are way, way more powerful. So if you want to like do conditions and be able to show different fields based on previous field data, the Jira Service Management form is really the path that you're going to want to go. But these forms here are available for you and something that you can use. Now, a couple of things that I do want to disclaim. Number one, which I already kind of mentioned, which is really this form, I don't see the whole point of it other than if your team is like overwhelmed with just the way the create button works, give them the form because it's basically the same field information, but just in a prettier way. Number two is this form still requires your user to have a license to Jira Work Management or Jira software for that matter. So unlike the forms that are available in Jira Service Management that are completely free for your customers, this form, you still need to have access to this project and you still need to have access to the license and to the product. And so it's not, I don't really see the benefit of the form here. So last thing, I think you might want to kick this up or at least bring it into the same parity of as a JSM form, because as it stands right here, I personally would never use the form in a Jira Work Management project, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is to create a form and make it available. But again, I don't see a lot of benefit to it, right? So JSM is usually the way that I encourage or recommend my teams to go down because that form in JSM is a lot more powerful and is a lot more useful than this, right? So obviously when you fill this all out, let's just fill out the form real quickly. And so we're just gonna hit preview here. And we're gonna just submit it, right? So we're gonna do like test form 1, and we're gonna be able to put some dates. Once you hit the submit button there, you can go back to your summary or to your list board. You're gonna see that that item has come in through the form. And again, here's my test form 1. Here's all the information that was published. And it's just not the most helpful thing in my opinion, right? It's just whatever's, but it works and it's just a different way of inputting data into your Jira project. So, hey, I hope you're enjoying today's video. I wanted to take a quick second to tell you about today's sponsor. As a Jira admin, how do you keep your Jira instance well maintained, optimized, and free of inactive or unused projects and configurations? Well, you could do this manually by yourself, or you could use the complete admin tool Optimizer for Jira to audit and configure, clean up, and optimize Jira in a matter of minutes. It's the secret superpower helping thousands of Jira admins worldwide keep their Jira instances in tip-top shape. Check it out using the link in the description down below. And now back to the video. That's it for this video. Again, I'm sorry. I don't see the value other than it's like streamlined, right? It's a little bit more user-friendly. But honestly, if people are using Jira software and they come to Jira Work Management, which most teams that I work with are in Jira software. And so they're already used to hitting that create button. This is really like truly, if you're a non-technical company, you're not using Jira software in any way, shape, or form, and that create button is a bit overwhelming. Like this, I can see the value. but I'm talking maybe 1% of the population of Jira people are going to fall into that bucket. So I don't know. Take this as you will, but that's how you create forms in Jira Work Management. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button. If you agree with me on my analysis of forms in Jira Work Management, smash that like button as well. I want to know who's on Team Alex. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you made it this far and you haven't subscribed. And make sure you check out those links down below, as they contain various links to my merch store, my courses, and links to the sponsors that make these videos possible. So go show them some love.